Hey guys, and welcome back to the Engineered Muscle Podcast. We're coming at you guys with episode number 5 today. Me and Coach Mo are back, and we are going to be discussing a few topics today. One being, do you need lifting equipment like wraps, belts, straps, etc., as well as do you need to use one rep maxes in training, and do they benefit you, and what's the benefits?
Cool.
So, how are you doing today, Mo?
Doing great. It's been a pretty good morning, actually. It's a Saturday, so I actually woke up. I went to bed pretty early last night. Went to bed around 8, and just didn't even need an alarm. I woke up at 3 a.m. today, and I was just up, and I was like, all right, no need to go back to bed. And then I had some things I gotta get done, and then 6 a.m. I was at the gym, and what's funny? This is not even the topic of this podcast, but I was to do my 1 rep max on bench press today. What I normally do is I follow a very linear progression approach, which is like, I do 6 warm up sets before I do the testing, 3 attempts. So 6 warm up sets to begin with were like 30% of my 1 rep max, and do 8 reps, then 40% do those for 6 reps, and just progressively increasing that. And today I literally got all the way up to 215 with all just the tens, tens and fives.
Yeah, I saw them.
And
why all tens and fives?
Right. So the reason for that was it was so much easier to add. So I was like, okay, we're starting with 90 pounds, doing it for this many reps, then this, and I would just keep stacking on plates. And that fitness center had so many plates of tens that I was like, no worries, right? So then I talked to one of my friends who's a judge at USAPL, USA Powerlifting, and I was like, bro, I almost had it. And he's like, yeah, you were really close. Like, if you were just 10 pounds lighter, you would have totally gotten it. But then he also told me, he's like, bro, like, don't use these tens. Like, I feel like if you had 2 big plates, you might have gotten it, because his explanation was your stabilizers might be doing more work because the weight is distributed, further with those tens. And
yeah, you're doing more bar whip.
Yeah, and it was just fascinating because, like 200 pounds, 200 pounds, but it's not at the same time. But that happened this morning. I was super happy because I thought after missing 215, I felt like shit, just like a lot of you listening, or, whenever we don't reach our targets, we don't feel very good. But I looked at my notebook. My target was 185. That was my biggest target. And I easily hit that. So then I'm like, I was shooting for way above where I wanted it to be. So that's why I feel a little disappointed, but it's all good.
Yeah, why'd you shoot for I was going to ask, why'd you shoot for 215 off of 285? Why didn't you hit a 195 or 205 first?
So what happened was 185 felt way too light. It came up, poof, like it was so much easier and then I was like, this one guy, he kept asking me how many sets I got left. And like, he wanted to take my bench, and he became my spotter.
He can't rush you.
No, so then and part of me was like, 185 went up like really good. I watched it in the video, I recorded it, and it went up pretty fast. I was like, I can do one. Let's just do it. Why not? I wanted to do 205, and then my brain was like, nah, just slap another 5s on there. And that ended up being 250.
Both. I would have recommended taking that smaller jump, even just for the nervous system boost, and confidence boost too sometimes.
Yeah, like that would have been big, because 205 was definitely in the books today, and I just didn't even try it because I was kind of fried up at the end. And I didn't eat. Another thing I started realizing while I was doing those PRs was I was hungry. I ate like a Greek yogurt in the morning, and that's it. I should have taken a banana with me, or something else. So I'm still like, with my morning workouts, I'm still figuring out my best eating times around the workouts, especially on days that I will push myself. And yeah, man, so that was exciting. That was a long intro to how I was feeling, but um, but yeah,
Well,
guys. So
and I did too. I was, I slept pretty good, and I've been baking all morning. I just turned out two loaves of sourdough that I've been prepping. Like, the prep was all yesterday, and then they rised overnight, and then I baked both of them today. And I made my first loaf yesterday. I started the starter last week, and it was delicious. And sourdough is so much healthier than like regular dough, like regular bread, because you get like a whole culture of microorganisms rather than just like industrial yeast. And so it's a slower process, so it more fully ferments the starches and proteins and everything in the wheat. So it's way more digestible, and just it's a lot healthier. And it like, I think they even like create more protein from like the nitrogen in the air mixing with whatever they do. So I think it does raise it a little bit, not a lot, but it's just way more digestible, and it's fucking delicious too. So
yeah, not that we want to talk about sourdough, but what are the ingredients? How do you even start? I have no idea.
the ingredients are so simple. Really, it's water, flour, and for the bread, salt. It's water, flour, salt. The starter is just water and flour, and you just let it, the wild yeast and bacteria that's just from the air. You just start culturing it, and eventually they weed out any other bad bacteria or anything, and you just get like a bubbly, gooey, doughy sludge stuff. And then you mix that with like the rest of the flour and water, and like you add salt eventually.
I like it.
I mean, it's a process, but it's like really simple too. And like that's how bread used to be made before 100 years ago, whatever they came out with, the industrial yeast stuff. But so that's one of my recent experiments. And like yesterday, there's a unbelievable sale at a supermarket near me, for like $4.77 a pound, rib roasts. And so I got this beautiful, awesomely marbled, like full roast. Like the thing is like 3 feet long. There's probably at least 9 ribs in there. And so I'm going to dry age it for like 90 days. And that thing's going to be worth like 10 times as much as the pre-discounted price. So that's like going to be like a 20 times
No,
gain
that's
investment.
good. I
It's going to be so delicious.
how much money do you spend on groceries a week right now?
On normal groceries, honestly, I'm only spending because I also get groceries for my girlfriend Brianna, and usually for the two of us for the whole week is max 150, and usually like 100. So it's between 100 and 150 depending on what we get. Like if I'm restocking on like on certain items like olive oil, it'll be a more expensive week. But if I'm just getting like the basics, it'll be cheaper.
What are your basics?
Usually I'll get like 2 to 3 for speaking just for me. I get like 2 to 3 packages of chicken breast, some kind of steak. Depends on what's on sale. I go with what's on sale to save money. I'll get some kind of vegetable, some kind of, usually like a little bit of fruit, depends on what's on sale. I kind of go what looks good and what's on sale.
Do you do like what are your carbohydrates, if you do any?
Oh, yeah. So then carbs, I have a whole bunch of sweet potatoes right now. Because they were on sale, so I got a whole bunch of ones. So I haven't been buying them because I already got them. But I have been doing sweet potato. Now I'm making the bread, so I'm getting a little bit of that. That'll be my carbs coming up.
What's for breakfast?
Breakfast? When I work during the week, I honestly I bring 4 meals to work, and my first meal is at work, and they're usually like 2 chicken meals and 2 beef meals, and 1 sweet potato, usually with my.
That's your breakfast is like chicken breast and beef.
Yeah. And when I'm home on the weekends, I'll have a slower morning. I'll eat a little later. I'll have more coffee and like cream, and that's kind of my
Well,
breakfast.
when you eat chicken breast and beef, do you mix in like, do you have any carbs with it, or is it just pure?
I'll have carbs with I'll have a sweet potato with my last one right now. Um, but otherwise, um, I'll have carbs post workout too, and sometimes intra workout. But otherwise, like carbs build up in me real fast, so I don't have carbs all the time. I just try to have like
So
protein
you just
pulse
eat
throughout
like,
the day.
so you just eat chicken breast on its own.
Yeah. Like sometimes usually like when I'm doing what I'm supposed to, I'll make vegetables. Sometimes I forget because it's just more work. And like the thing that I hate about making vegetables is like you start out with this much and you end up with like this much, and it just doesn't like I have to stuff so much in there to get anything out of it. Because I'll make like spinach or kale or a mix of greens or something like that.
Right.
Um, but I mean, I love vegetables. It's just like I don't feel like I get anything back, like the return. Um, but on the weekends, I'll have like eggs sometimes for breakfast. But I usually don't have carbs with breakfast. I usually start my breakfast. My breakfast is usually fat and protein. Sometimes like on the weekend, I'll have, like I said, eggs, maybe some additional egg whites, maybe some bacon. It depends.
No,
But
that sounds pretty good.
maybe some veggies.
Yeah, no, that sounds good because it's all about finding where your energy levels are during what times of the day. And yeah, like for me, my breakfast for some time now has just been like an avocado with like a peanut butter toast. And today I switched it up to avocados are really expensive right now in California. So
Yeah,
just due to the fires, like I think a single avocado was over $2. And I was like, nah, I'm not buying those. So I ended up
yeah,
just getting egg whites, and I love, like, I'm getting back into the egg life. I used to eat a lot of eggs like a year ago, and then all of a sudden I just stopped. Um, and now I'm getting back into it. So I had a really nice breakfast with eggs and what else did I have? One banana and a wheat bread toast. So it was just really good. I felt really good because it was post workout too. My body really was craving
mhm.
it.
Yeah. Well, you work out in the morning too, so like, because I don't work out till after work usually, so it's
Yeah.
like almost 6 o'clock. But I find if I start my day with carbs, then I'll crave carbs all day, and my body will be burning carbs as a primary source versus fat as a primary source. So if I find that if you and most of the research backs this up, I think too. Whatever you start your day with is what your primary metabolism for the day will be, unless you kind of like throw it off. But generally speaking, so that's why I usually like to start with like protein and like I always like to have protein with every meal, but then protein and fat for my first meal, and then um, not too much fat either, because then it's like just too heavy for my first meal.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And like one of the best thing I love for fats is avocados. Like I've fallen in love with those, and yeah, it's those are great. Also, eggs are great for that. Yeah, like just normal foods. And I think like it was fascinating, and I don't do evening workouts just because like I have a 9 to 5 job, which keeps me kind of busy. And then my evenings are literally spent on business all day, like coaching clients. And so if I don't take care of myself in the morning, then I know nothing's going to happen in the evening. Like
Yeah,
I generally I used to be the kid in college who would go to the gym at 10 o'clock at night. I had no problem back then, but now I just like it's throughout the day. Like back then, my work was mostly manual, like it was actually like physical
mm-hmm.
labor, physical stuff. I mean, I was working at a hospital, so it wasn't too physical, but it was like involved a lot of walking around. And now
Yeah,
a
it was
lot of
active. It was
yeah,
active.
and now a lot of my work is mental. So like my mental energy is done at like 8 o'clock
Yeah,
every night. Like I feel tired, and so it's just like, like if you're a busy professional watching this, if you're an engineer who, like a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer who is on a automotive plant and you are having to, walk around, fix things, then your energy needs will be different than somebody who sits on a computer and designs CAD programming all day, like, and it's just, you got to find your own way. But what we're here to help you with is give you that starter, like get you started, because the basics are the same, the fundamentals are the same. It's just a lot of people don't even know where to start. And whenever people want to lose weight, the first thing they look for are the fad diets. They go for keto, vegan, paleo, carnivore, all of those. And then they just meet me or Madison, and then they're like, I just can't stick to it. I don't know how these guys go to the gym every day, how these guys actually are healthier. I just can't seem to find the way. So yeah, guys, that's our goal. But
fit your life. Yeah, because I'm also pretty, like, I can be pretty tired after work, and like there's a lot of days where like I don't want to go, and it's like it'll be tough. But if I know that if I do go, my energy just goes way up as soon as I start going. I get through like my first couple warm-up sets, then I feel great, and I have tons of energy, and I feel so much better 99% of the time. It just feels good to move and get blood going. And the trick is just getting past that wall of getting home and not just plopping down.
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Like I've gotten into reading more books nowadays. So it's like, I want, like, my ideal life or my ideal day would be something like wake up early, like wake up around 4 or 5 a.m., get the workout in, and then like get as much work as I can get done by noon, and then take a nap around noon. Like take a half hour, 1 hour nap, and then wake up and get to the next things. And it's just, yeah, like I'm finally getting to a point where I'm being very strategic with my time, because there's so many things that are just, like eating away at the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So sorry, we got really off tangent.
No, that was a little just dive into our lives. So
No,
you guys wants a
yeah,
little more too.
100%. And I think the biggest thing is
we go
that,
through the same struggles that you guys do. We're both super busy, but we've had the experience to figure out how to make this stuff fit into our lives and to still be effective. We've learned that, and that's a lot of what we're going to pass on.
no,
I think we'll go into nutrition more in our next episode too.
no, 100%. And the last thing I'll add is like, I knew, so I've been like, for the last 3 years, I have been meal prepping on Sundays, and Sundays are my client check-in days. So now I spend like 5-6 hours replying to emails, getting on calls, talking to my clients one-on-one, adjusting their meal plans, adjusting their workouts, like the whole deal. And so like for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't meal prepped at all. I've just been like relying on, I haven't, like, I've just been eating out, or I've just been like, I would just cook that meal that I needed to eat. So last night, it's Friday, and I'm on a call, and it was a group coaching call. And I literally put myself, I stopped the video, I run over, and I start prepping. So I prepped all my meals on a Friday night and then went to bed. And now I feel so good because I have 2 meals ready to go as soon as I am done with this podcast. So it's like,
get ready for the weekend too.
Right. So it's just, you're going to have to adjust with like Madison said, like we're coaches, we've done this for a minute, but even for us, like there are times when it's like the thing about coaching is that it's not just training, it's the whole business you have to take care of. There are taxes, there are sales, there's marketing, there's all those things. That even as coaches, we need to like constantly learn, hire people, delegate, all of those things. And that is draining, guys. Like that stuff gets to you. So it's super important.
Even getting involved with clients is pretty, like, because their victories are my victories, and their defeats are mine. And I get very involved with my clients because I work so closely with them. And so like when things aren't working, I'm feeling it. I'm trying to work through it, and I mean, luckily I don't get to go through that go through defeats too much, because my system works really well. But there's always troubleshooting, but the plus side is I get to enjoy their victories as well. But you know,
No, no,
it can be
yeah.
draining balancing so many people and all their stuff.
And like, and at the end of the day, like, we are also athletes, so we're always trying to level up our own fitness. And for me,
Oh yeah.
that's the best part, but it's also the part where I neglect my own self because I put others first. And so I'm like, I'm giving my clients the best transformations possible, but am I getting the best support I need to succeed in life and in my training? And sometimes like we lack in that, and we just kind of like put ourselves in the back burner and we help others. So I've just been, like putting boundaries around like just certain things, that this is the time I won't see my phone. This is the time I'll just focus on that. Like one of the things I need to start doing is when I'm at the gym, I need to like put my phone on airplane mode and just listen to like the 10 songs that are saved in my downloads. Um, because when I'm at the gym, it's like I get distracted easily. And like even today while testing one rep maxes and stuff, like I would come back, look at my phone, but like it's so weird for my brain. And I think almost every millennial does that, where it's like you look at Instagram, you look at Facebook, you look at Facebook Messenger, then you look at like your email, and you're constantly like our brain is craving the dopamine rush. So you constantly want to look at notifications, and before you know it, you've spent like 7 minutes on looking at your phone. And I just hate it. I hate being that guy at the gym sometimes where my focus is so off that I'm like, what's going on today? And generally it's because of the sleep, generally it's because of something else. But like I've actually been very intentional with my phone usage, because smartphones can be your worst enemy, guys. You got to be careful there too.
Oh, absolutely. When I'm at the gym, I pretty much shove my phone aside. Like now and then, I might check, but like I won't respond to most things at that time. And it's challenging because I want to. A lot of times, I really want to record my training, and post my workouts for like Instagram and YouTube and everything. But like I want to like I don't want to be distracted by filming myself and doing that. I want to just feel the training and work on and do the training and be in the training, and like trying to film myself is a distraction. And like it's hard to keep the pace going. It's hard to keep the flow going. It's hard to keep the the pump and the motivation, and well, not motivation, but the just the flow of it, and the intensity up. So I neglect to do that sometimes. I don't always film myself because for that reason.
No,
So
and
just talking about the
yeah.
one rep maxing, and I think that's kind of relates to our one of our topics today. So with the focus,
I'm loving this today.
right back
This is
to
so
yeah,
free
you like
flow.
that transition. I like that transition. So let's talk about, do you need to do one rep maxes, and when should you? What's the value? And so let's well, since you just did it, why did you do it?
Oh, amazing question. I'll tell you about the psychological part, which really helps me. So, with a lot of my clients who are beginners, they like have started lifting like 3 months ago or 2 months ago. They get in the gym, and then I use my own app, so they end up tracking what numbers they were lifting. So like one day they'll be like 125 for 5 reps. The next week, 125 for that many reps or whatever. What happens is I look at the numbers, I go through the numbers with them, and a lot of them fall into that stagnant zone where it's just boom. Like they walk into the gym and they're like, okay, it's bench press day. Okay, great. What was the weight I did last week? Oh, 125. Well, cool. Load up 125s. And they just keep sticking to the same weight. They just don't improve. Like their brain wants them to stay in that comfort zone. And I see that with over and over and over again. The only exception to that rule is young guys who have other bros who lift with them, and they're just trying to catch up to each other. Like that's the only one which actually like I see
Yeah,
improvement in. Like everybody else.
Those guys, I have like often the problems with a lot of gym bros, especially young ones, and once they go together, is I see them usually just like maxing out every week,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother issue.
Which is the opposite, yeah. So then, like, I was like, how can I give my clients the fire back? So I told them, I was like, all right, guys, like, we'll finish the workouts this week, and then on Monday we'll have a different game plan. And I had them also. This is for my group coaching clients and training with the Titans. And the premise of that program is to train like the 1970s bodybuilders and just really sculpt that physique, have broad shoulders, narrow waist, the whole deal. And so I asked them, I was like, all right, on Monday, we're all going to test our 1-rep maxes. And they're like, what's that, Mo? I was like, so you guys are pretty familiar with deadlift, squats, and bench by now, since you've been doing it for the last 8-9 weeks. I want you to go in, and this is the strategy we're going to use. This is the warm up. And I want you to really like keep increasing that weight by 10 pounds and until you hit that wall. And if you do not cheat, be safe, do not like get injured, but I want you to find that wall, because once we get closer to it, then we have numbers to go off of, and then you'll be more inspired to hit those numbers. So for me personally, like this morning and like yesterday, when I hit my squat, my bench, and my deadlift PR, my 1-rep max, it gave me a new direction in life. It's so weird. It gave me a new reset button, because I have been playing around with powerlifting and bodybuilding at the same time for the last 6 to 9 months. And I just keep going back and forth, but like what I really enjoy is powerlifting. I love like big boy stuff. And that's what I like doing. But at the same time, I'm a men's physique competitor and I love sculpting my body. So that's where bodybuilding comes in. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't know my 1-rep maxes. I forgot how much can I even lift. So then if you don't know your maximum, then I think like you're just guessing on what to do if your coach tells you to do 5 sets of 6 reps on bench press or squats or deadlifts. Like, you're just guessing. And when you don't know your 1-rep max, I think you lack that clarity, and a lot of people end up just going with the feels. They're just going off of feelings. And that doesn't sound very objective to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not objective. When you give when you coach, when you give your clients, their workouts, do you prescribe weights, or do you prescribe like RPEs or percentages of a 1-rep max? Do you give a way for them to choose a weight, or do you just give reps and set volume scheme?
I give them the rep and set volume scheme. I haven't like. See, this is the fascinating.
Increasing? Like if are you giving them? Is it a linear program?
Yes.
Do they know that they should be going up in weight, or do they know that it's just not?
Hey, so it looks like my computer is about to freeze. I don't know what's happening. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. On my end, everything looks good.
Okay, good. We'll just keep going. Hopefully this figures itself out, because it's literally frozen. Yeah, so I teach them linear progression from very beginning of the program. I teach them, hey guys, like, continue to make small incremental changes over time. And a lot of them stick to it. Sometimes, like, because my goal, like, they come to me, they hire me to help them lose weight, lose fat. And it's been fascinating, especially for beginners. If you tell them a weight to use, a lot of them, like, they don't see the thing with clients. The best clients are the ones that communicate really well with you. A lot of them don't want to. So they don't tell you the whole story.
As a coach, I hate that. As a coach, I hate when they don't talk to you. The most important thing in the coach-client relationship for anybody watching, if you ever get a coach, if you have a coach, you are only shortchanging yourself by not telling your coach everything they want to know. Some coaches want to know more than others, but whatever they want to know, you should tell them. Like when I work with a client, I want them to tell me everything. And when I work with a coach, I tell them everything. You shouldn't be ashamed of if you don't do something. You need to tell them that. If you went off your diet, you should tell them. If you didn't train how you were supposed to, you should tell them. They should know, because then that's how you improve the process.
Yep, 100%. And no, you're good. It's just that my computer it's totally like frozen. I don't know.
I still, I hear you fine, and you're moving fine, and
Okay, good.
hopefully we're moving fine.
Yeah, hopefully we're recording. Yeah, so yeah, 100%. And it's just like you know what? I also empathize with the clients because a lot of them are not. They're still really busy. People are busy, man, and it's like them trying to like send me a detailed feedback every day, or like it's just right now they send me weekly emails and then we jump on the call or we get on FaceTime and we talk. But a lot of them like they're not used to giving that much feedback. So if they're losing weight, then I'm like, cool, keep doing your thing. And then once they're lean, that's when I see them, their mental triggers, like those gears start turning where they're like, now I feel really small. I always wanted abs, but now I feel really small. And yesterday I was, Psycho Lewis was talking about this on his Instagram story where he's like, yeah, like whenever I cut, I feel really small. And this is a 340-pound man. Like
Yeah,
it's not just a
but I
big
kind of feel small.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like natural cycle of life. But so I've seen like a lot of people will give me more feedback, feel more confident after they get those abs, and then we start building them back up. That's when I see the most involvement from the client side. Whereas like for the fat loss journey, like, and I personally think it's much harder to build muscle than it is to lose fat.
Well,
Right? And so
it's a
it's
lot
like,
slower. You can't rush muscle building, and I mean, not that you can rush fat loss too, but you can to an extent. But muscle, there's no way to, cheat it.
no. And unless you're Captain America, I mean, those are some
Yeah.
good stuff. But I love Cap. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's the more you tell your coach about your problems, the better off he will be in helping you. And yeah, it's we should do a whole episode on the limitations of caloric deficit. On
Okay.
on
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that soon.
yeah, like in my coaching experience, I've had multiple clients where like caloric deficit starts running against the wall, where you're
Well,
like,
yeah, you have to be able to adjust against it, and the thing is, your body is, if you're in a caloric deficit, and if you're just burning yourself away, your body doesn't like that, and body's going to adjust to that and try to. Your body's always trying to maintain homeostasis, but your body doesn't like change. Your body also wants to live. At the end of the day, the way you understand the way the body works is that the body is always trying to survive. And if you can understand that, you can start thinking in the language of the body. And so if you have no calories coming in, your body adjusts to that by just not burning any. And eventually your metabolism just comes down, and eventually you're going to feel it with your energy, but like you might not notice it. You just might use crutches, um, but you could be there are people at 1,000 calories a day and they won't lose any weight.
oh yeah,
And
that's
so
bullshit.
there's
I've never had like I would never go that low with any client because at
Me
that
either,
point,
but there are people that they go that low and then they won't lose weight. And really, what those people need at that time is a surplus, and they need to get their metabolism back up to pull and to then let them come back down again.
I've
And
done
so
that.
there's a lot of times when you're like burning fat, there's an up and down to it, right? You kind of take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and 2 steps forward, or 3 steps forward and 1 step back. And sometimes you need to take that step back to be able to continue to move forward, or else you just don't go anywhere.
No, I agree. And yeah, back to the topic that we were talking about the one rep maxes and stuff. I think like Benjamin Franklin once said, if you take care of the minutes, the years will take care of themselves. And it's such a beautiful quote because if you take care of the reps and sets and gain clarity on why you're doing it, your lifting career and your long-term gains will take care of themselves. Don't even worry about it. But you gotta be able to take care of the lifts. Like it's just, I don't know, it just feels so wrong. And we all do it, where a lot of people do it, where, you know, you go to the gym, and if you don't know your numbers, then what the fuck are you going off of? Right?
Yeah,
Like yesterday,
you got to.
right? Like yesterday, one of my good friends, he's also a fitness coach, and I made a post, and it was like, yeah, if you're an intermediate to advanced lifter and you don't know your one rep maxes, you're cutting yourself short. Um, and he goes, I disagree, and I was like, debate me on a Facebook Live. Let's get to the bottom of this. and but it just fascinates me. Like I personally, really think that you gotta know your numbers, because if you don't, then what are you going off of? Like,
Yeah.
we're just
You
going
gotta
off,
yeah.
right? Like, I mean, you don't have to do like one rep max test every 3 weeks or every month, but having a good idea of why, like, okay, so you're benching 3 days a week. Okay, why? Okay, like your goal is to hit that number in the next 3 months. Okay, now we got a plan. Now we got a goal and we got a plan for it. But like if you're, it's just, yeah, like you gotta have clarity. And my biggest goal with all my clients is giving them small wins, giving them those little things that, hey guys, like, where are we at bench? Oh, we're doing like the other day. So like I said earlier, not most, but like 1/4 or a half of my clients are complete beginners to strength training. So we're getting them used to all these movements, and they were sending me um, their like one rep maxes, which was kind of really fun to watch, because a lot of them are really trying their best to make it look right. And I've done a lot of work with them one-on-one to help them master the movements. But what you see, like some of them I had to end up telling them, I was like, unload that weight and just do the bar. Like, don't even worry about the weight. Like, if you're having any, like, if you can't do that, don't feel bad. And this is also another thing about coaching. Like, clients start feeling embarrassed. They think they're not good enough, and that's why they can't do that fully. And then they don't want to tell the coach. But in reality, they hired us to help them. So I become their older brother, and I guide them. I'm like, hey, like, don't feel shy. I'm here to help you. And if I didn't think that this was the right move for you, I wouldn't tell you to do it. And it's just, yeah, like I had to tell two of my clients that, hey, drop that weight, just do the bar and fix this and that. And one of my clients came back super happy the next week, and he's like, thank you so much for saying that. I've been doing this like for so long. He's like a 46-year-old busy male professional, works at a high-end corporate America, and he told me that, and I was like, shit, like I'm so glad I said that, because he was continuing to do it wrong. And it's just, yeah, like, I mean, and then I had a female engineer who was she said, like, I told her, I was like, unload that bar, take all the weight off, all of it, just practice full range of motion, I kept saying that to her, and she goes, oh shit, you are not impressed with my lifts. I was like, I'm very impressed, I just want you to be better. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how I got off tangent, but the point was like having that direction, and going into the gym on chest day or back day or leg day, and having those really clear numbers in mind. Like, Madison, I'll show it to you. Actually, I left it at home, but on my gym notebook, before going to the gym yesterday for my one rep maxes, I literally spent 15 minutes planning out every warm up attempt, every attempt, 1, 2, 3, and I knew the numbers already. So when I walked to the gym, there was no thinking, very little thinking. All I did was execute. And guess how close I got? I was like 95, 96%, like same. Like what I planned and what I executed were like 96% similar. And that's the power of planning well. And if you are just guessing through it, then like I used to do that, and it just doesn't, it's not the most efficient use of your time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so my opinion of using or using one rep maxes in training is I would recommend people not going for a one rep max any more than 1 or 2 times a year, because it's testing your strength and not building your strength. And so the majority of your time should be spent building. I think there's also other ways to estimate your 1 rep max without actually doing it, because doing a 1 rep max is very, very stressful on your nervous system. And also, your 1 rep max today is different than your 1 rep max tomorrow or in a week, right? So what your 1 rep max is, or theoretically, is a function of the nervous system, is how you're doing. Did you peak before that? If you did a peaking block, will prepare your body to go for a load like that, and that'll be higher than if you just did a 1 rep max in the middle of training. So there's a lot of different variables that you can do that. But what I think is really, really important, and that I always have my clients do, and then I do, is I keep track of every PR. And I do that not just for a 1 rep max. I do that for a 5 rep max, a 7 rep max, a 5, a 4, a 3 on this movement, just whatever you're doing, know what your best of that ever was. And the way I kind of program my training around, like, I don't necessarily do the same thing week to week, but the next time I do the same thing, I am going to progress on it. I'm going to beat it. And using those principles, when I go into the gym, I hit a PR every single time I go in the gym, pretty much. There's sometimes exceptions, but for the most part, I'm almost always hitting a PR. It's like, how do you PR every time? Well, there's enough variety and stuff that I can, right? So I'm always getting stronger. I'm always getting better. And I also think you get a lot more benefits by getting like a 3 rep or a 2 rep max or a 5 rep max than a 1.
Right.
1 is really fun because it's nice to see, oh, wow, that's my peak. But if you do it like a 2 or 3 or 4, even 5, you can pretty accurately predict. There are calculators, and also when you get good, you can kind of know based off those numbers what your 1 rep would be. Then if you want to get a lot more quantitative, well, it's a really, really, really cool method that I've haven't been able to implement yet because I haven't gotten the technology. Using if you do VBT or velocity-based training, is a super cool system that I really, really want to be able to utilize in the future. As soon as I get my hand on one of these devices, they've been sold out.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
So I'll go into it a little bit. So basically, velocity-based training. Basically, there are a whole bunch of different devices. I'm waiting for one that's predictably accurate. Basically, you connect it to your bar one way or another, and when you perform your lift, the bar is going to move at a speed or velocity, and based on how you lift and a weight will have a corresponding, or really a percentage of your 1 rep max will have a corresponding velocity that it moves at. So if you move this particular weight at this velocity, you can very, very accurately predict what your 1 rep max is for the day. And it's a dynamic. So it's a dynamic way to utilize and to implement. So it's both going by feel, but quantitatively. So it's adjusting your training based on how you're feeling that day, but how you're actually performing, not just feeling, because that feelings can be deceptive. And you can, so if you know, okay, I'm doing 4 5s at 75% today. Well, what's 75% today? Using this method, you'll very accurately be able to predict that. So as you're warming up, basically the velocity of those, once you map your, like Chris Duffin and the Kabuki guys do a lot of this. And he went to a meet and they perfectly accurately were able to estimate his final attempt, like down to a few pounds, and he hit it.
That's big.
Yeah, it's very cool. I haven't gotten my hands on the device to play around with it personally, but very, very, very cool.
No, I like it. We got 10 more minutes and then we'll conclude this podcast. But so we talked about one rep maxes, where we think why I think they're applicable, what timeline, like you said, twice a year is sufficient. I
Twice a
personally,
year.
yeah, I don't know why, but I like doing it every 3-4 months. Just because because right now, like, it's funny, this is taking an ego hit, but I'm at a place where I'm transitioning from an intermediate to an advanced lifter. And whereas I feel like you have a lot more years on me in terms of training, which is great. And I need that boost, because I know I'm like, if even now, what's funny is that even now I'm making like newbie gains, and I'll continue to make them. I don't know until when, but um, it's like every day I have a good lift, I feel like if I like my diet has been like a little out of whack lately, just because I've been traveling so much, and my career has been like all over the place. In a good way, it's just going up. But um, like, I have been it's so funny, like, we're recording this because we'll probably do a whole episode on life in general. But um, as we're recording this, it's like there's so many things happening at the same time, and I stay pretty busy. So at the end of the day, like, it's so easy for me to neglect my health. So easy for me to like eat out and do the whole things, even though I know better. It doesn't always go as planned, and it's like now I'm so much better at like recognizing the foods to eat, um, recognizing where to lift, how to make the most out of limited equipment. But it's just, yeah, guys, like, this is why I love the podcast experience, because this is like raw truth. And I normally don't even talk about this on Facebook, but as you grow, and most of you will find that out. I don't know if you guys are college kids or working professionals. Like, if you're a working professional and things are going well, and then one day you have a kid, your baby's born, your life is going to take another turn. So like, every time there's like a new stimulus coming into your life, your personal self-care will take a hit. And at the end of the day, you got to make your personal self-care the non-negotiable. That's the one thing that you're like, I don't give a fuck about what is happening. I'm going to be at the gym, and I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to completely shut down for other people for this amount of time, and I'm going to just focus on me. And most people need to do that, and I'm just learning to do it. And I think it's been super valuable to start doing it. So yeah, like,
Why are you one rep maxing every 3 weeks?
3
Too
months.
much.
3 months.
Oh, 3 months. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
still that's not as much. Still,
yeah,
hit a double, hit a triple.
yeah.
Do,
No,
do volume of it.
and I think, like, and you know what I really like is now I will be doing that, because I mean, I say 3 months, but I haven't been regularly doing it, because it's not like I have a deadline on my calendar that I'm gonna hit a three month like one rep max. It's just that whenever I'm starting to lose focus, I'm starting to lose focus of the bigger picture of why I train. It just brings me back home. It takes me home, and it's like, because like, you don't just start hitting one rep max if you haven't gone to the gym for 2 weeks. Like, it takes me like at least 2 or 3 weeks of building that up, consistently going to the gym, consistently eating well. And then my brain is like, hell yeah, like, next Saturday we're gonna see where we're at. And it really helps, like, just and like, I build my plans around those numbers, and that's what motivates me. Because right now I'm not cutting, and I'm just trying to gain muscle. And actually, what's funny is that I got to the weight I wanted to be at, which was 170. And if you look at my pictures from like 6 months ago at the same weight, I look way different without my shirt on versus now. So the muscle gains are coming in, and I feel strong. And it's just, yeah, like, I think like 2 or 3 rep, like, if you're doing like 3 rep maxes, 4 rep maxes, whatever you got to do to give you that clarity, do it. Um, just whatever takes you back home, whatever, like, if weightlifting was your thing and you suddenly got way too busy for it, or life changed, or something happened that you lost focus, come back home, whatever it takes to come back home, and then drive that focus back. Because like, here's the thing, right? So sometimes we forget who we're talking to. Like, engineered muscle is for people who are very busy. And for those people, like, there are going to be times when they will lose focus, when they will be like, I don't know why the fuck I go to the gym and I do these same things over and over and over again. So like, whatever helps you regain that focus quickly and efficiently, dive into it, and then build more strength in 4 months, 5-month period, 3-month period, whatever it takes for you. Sign up for a meet, do a powerlifting meet, do a men's physique show, do like whatever you got to do to get back into it. And I like, for me, I think like doing one show a week, a year, like, is a pretty good idea going forward. But now, like right now, this year it wasn't, but it really keeps me focused. It really keeps everything in alignment with my fitness. And because I have a tough time being like without a goal, being like lifting without a goal. And so I'm just working on it. And it's, it's super awesome.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's important to always have a goal. I always have a goal when I'm in there training. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, anytime like I'm getting towards like the end of something, I make sure I have a new thing ready, in at least some regard. And like, I don't even remember the last time like I went for max out. Like, I don't think I did maxed out all this year. Did I? I don't think so. But then like just last week, I was going for like, I'm gonna kind of push it, and I'm gonna go for some really heavy doubles on bench. And on my last set, I was doing 395, and I hit the first one, and I went down for the second one, but I couldn't get it. So it ended up being a single, but I wasn't trying to go for a single, and it was cool because I haven't hit. It was a PR, and I haven't even technically been strength training. I've been like bodybuilding, been doing hypertrophy work, but I knew that I was going to hit a PR easily because I was destroying my 8 rep, 5 reps, 4 rep PRs. I was like doing things I would do for a triple before for like 8. So I knew I was a lot stronger, and I didn't even peak going into that 395. Had I done a 4-week peaking block and then done it, I probably would have easily been able to get another 20 plus pounds on there.
Right.
And I was still kind of doing it as hypertrophy training, which is why I did doubles, and then I backed off and did more volume afterwards. But if you're testing and you're doing really heavy stuff, you're not going to have any energy to do volume.
No, dude, it tires you. It takes like, and that's the reason Madison keeps saying,
like, tired all week too, right? If you ever hit like a really hard, like really heavy squat, like single, or deadlift, or even bench, you're exhausted all week.
Bro, I'm looking forward to taking a nap right after this. Like, I'm tired, and I think our audience is probably feeling my energy isn't as high today. And part of the reason is that, like, yes, you hit 2 major PRs yesterday. Today hit a PR, and I mean, not a PR, like 1 rep max PR. So it's like, ooh, it's not like I was curling 35-pound dumbbells and now I can curl 38-pound dumbbells. But like, dude, like, and like, I'll make another comment here because that's a super important point for our busy people out there. Give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit every time you do shit like that, because I am so guilty of it. Like, every time I travel from the East Coast to West Coast. So guys, for the record, Madison lives in New York. I live in Los Angeles. So we live on the opposite coasts. And every time I go to the East Coast for work or for family, I come home and I have, like, if I land at 2 p.m., I have things scheduled at 4, 5, 6 p.m. So like, I never give myself any break. And then like 2 days later, my body catches up to me and she's like, bro, we're tired. I need sleep. I need this. I like, it's why does my body sound like a female? I
was going to point out, you called your body a she.
That was just kind of funny.
He's always been so bitchy.
That was hilarious. I don't know where that came from. But the point being, like, give yourself that time. Like today, I'm like, I need a nap because, and I don't even think of it. I didn't think like doing PRs or doing 1 rep maxes would tire me out. So I didn't even schedule it into my timeline. But you need it, guys. You need it. Like, don't just think that, oh, I'm just feeling tired today because, like, fuck me. Like, I'm just like, I'm screwed and I'm not doing this. Guys, there's a reason. There's always a reason. And if you're traveling too much, if you're like a consultant, or if you're a lawyer, or if you're a doctor who has to travel or do this or do night shifts, and you're constantly doing night shifts 3 days a week, and you're doing day shift 3 days a week, like, guys, that's going to take a toll. So make sure you give yourself credit and you give yourself the time to relax. And that's super important. A lot of people, I don't even do it, but it needs to happen. You need to give yourself time.
Absolutely. You don't grow without the rest. You don't grow from the gym. You grow from resting after.
I love it, dude. Thanks for the concluding remarks. Hey guys, this one was really awesome just because you guys got to hear everything, not just a focus topic. But if you guys like these type of where we just free flow, please drop it in the comments, because those are like, I love the free flow, because me and Madison can talk all day about this stuff, and this is our life, right? So yeah, like if you like
changes.
Yeah, they're always change. So change is good. Change is good. So if you guys like this, drop in the comments, shoot us an email at engineeredmuscle1@gmail.com. We are always looking for feedback, because we are ultimately doing this for you. Like, there's no other reason for us to sit down for 3 hours every Saturday morning and record these. So love you guys. Take care, and let us know what else you guys want to hear, because we love that feedback.
Like, follow, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher,
and Google
Audible, wherever the fuck we are now. We're everywhere.
All over the place.
Share us. Give us to everybody. You know you love us. Follow me and Mo on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere else. Get your full dose of engineered muscle all the time. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, guys. Take care.